All right. We're in chapter 4 of Pirkei. Chapter 4, Mishna 2, and we're still with Ben Azai. Ben Azai gave us the previous Mishna, that said, who is a wise, who is a hero, who is a rich, and now, who is dignified. And now we have another Mishnah from Ben Azai. He says, you need to run after a light mitzvah and run away from transgression, right? And the reason, Ben Azai says, because a mitzvah follows another mitzvah. One mitzvah leads you to another mitzvah, and a transgression leads you to another transgression. And the reason is because the reward for a mitzvah, listen carefully, the reward for a mitzvah is a mitzvah. And the reward, the punishment or the reward, however you call it, for a transgression is a transgression. Okay, so we're going to break all these to parts. So let's start. He says, one mitzvah leads you to another mitzvah. Rabbi Ovadia from Bartanura, he says, this is the custom of the world. This is how life works. This is the custom of the world. When you do one mitzvah, then it's comfortable to you, it's easy for you to do another mitzvah. And if someone is starting to commit transgressions, it's very difficult for him to stop. And another idea, he says, Rabbi Avot from Bartanura, that the reward for a mitzvah is a mitzvah. It means that from heaven, Hashem, when you make a mitzvah and you when you do a mitzvah, then they help you from above, from heaven. They help you. They create the perfect situation for you to do another mitzvah and another mitzvah, and that is your reward. That now you're going to get a double reward and a triple, and so forth. You get more reward for more mitzvahs because from heaven they help you. They make it easy for you to do another mitzvah. Another explanation by Rabbi Ovadia Bartanura. The reward for a mitzvah is a mitzvah. It means when you do a mitzvah and you enjoy that mitzvah, you get a double reward. You get the reward for actually doing the mitzvah, but also because you enjoyed the mitzvah, you get a specific reward for that enjoyment, for just being happy for doing a mitzvah. It's a double reward for one mitzvah, and the opposite. If someone enjoys Chas v'Sholem committing this transgression, then he's the opposite of reward. This punishment is double because he gets it first for the actual transgression, second for the actual enjoyment he had in this transgression. Okay, so this is the Rabbi Ovadia from Bartanura. The Alter Rebbe in Tanya, he's getting more specific about this. The Chassidus always try to show us the more spiritual, the inside meaning of even the other laws, even of the Mishnayot. It says in the Loch HaYom, there's a Yom that says that when you learn a halacha in Shulchan Ohr, I'm talking about the most basic plain halacha. You open Shulchan Ohr, it's a book of laws. There's nothing directly spiritual about that, right? You learn about, can you do this on Shabbos, can you not? Can you eat that? Is it kosher or not? Very, very dry laws. And but when you learn that, you ought to be aware that someday, after you finish your 120 years in this world, you're going to meet this halacha again in heaven. And you're going to see the same halacha you had learned living here in this world. You're going to see it in a whole different light. And you're going to see all the deep spiritual meanings of that halacha that you learned. Give an example. You know the famous halacha, Shnaim Ochazim Betalis, two people holding a talis. Talis is just a cloth, a piece of cloth. In Bab Metzia, that's the first Mishna. Yeah. So Chassidut explain that indeed the regular law says if you have two people arguing on the same item, they both claim it's theirs, each one of them claim it's his, and so what you have to do, you just have to appraise the value of the item, and just make him pay half to him, and he takes it, or he pays half of the person. So because it's basically you cannot decide whose item this is. This is the meaning of the Bab Metzia. You don't really take scissors and cut the talis in two, right? Okay, that's the halacha. But the Tzemach Tzedek explains that in the spiritual aspect of this is two Jews helped a third Jew to fulfill some mitzvahs. They helped him spiritually. They brought him closer to Yiddishkeit, to Torah, the mitzvahs. And after 120 years, they go up to heaven, and both of them claim, I brought this guy closer to Yiddishkeit. And the other guy says, no, I helped him. I brought him to shul. I sat down with him. I learned Chassidus with him. I encouraged him to do all the mitzvahs. And that's what they argue. And so this is the spiritual aspect that we see. A really non-spiritual halacha, a very down-to-earth halacha that is written in Shulchan Aruch, in heaven they see it in a whole different way. So also Pirkei Avos, these Mishnayos that we learn here, indeed we ought to understand the plain meaning of them. They say. This is what we did just so far. But also there's a spiritual meaning. And here the Alter Rebbe on Tanya, he explains, what does it mean that the reward of a mitzvah is a mitzvah? Yeah, we just explained it means that from heaven they're going to help you do another mitzvah. So now you have two mitzvahs in your bag. This is not what the Alter Rebbe explains. He explains that the reward of a mitzvah is a mitzvah means the word mitzvah, you probably know this by heart by now. What is mitzvah?
Mitzvah is doing a commandment.
Yeah, but a good deed, that's the mitzvah, but it also means a connection.
Yeah,
right?
connection to Hashem.
Yeah, the word mitzvah in Hebrew means also connection. Tzavta, people...
The action of doing this commandment is the connection.
It's a connection, yeah, exactly. You establish a connection with Hashem by every mitzvah you do. By the way, we now learn on Tanya the Igeres HaTshuva, right? This is where we're holding in Tanya, in Igeres HaTshuva. And this is right the part where he talks about disconnections, right? Very, very subtle. You have a rope that is made of many, many thin threads, right? Remember this? And basically when someone, God forbid, does a harsh transgression, okay, one of those that deserve to be fully cut, Chatz v'shalom from Hashem. So it's like cutting the whole rope. But this rope is made of many, many, many tiny threads, and a tiny transgression cuts a tiny thread. And this is what he said yesterday, that if a person commits many of those tiny bitty transgressions,
eventually be cutting the whole.
Yeah, it accumulates to like cutting the whole rope. In a way, he gives another example over there from a cloud. When you have a very thin light cloud, it's blocking a little bit of light from the sun. But when you have another cloud of the same type, and then another cloud, all of a sudden you have like a couple of dozens of clouds all together, so they block a lot more light than the single cloud. So too a transgression is like a cloud. He says that before, that Hashem is everywhere, right? Nothing can really stop Hashem. Hashem is here, huh?
That's what I've heard.
That's what we know. That's what you know. You don't have to. We know it because we learned it, but also we feel it. You know the story about the. It's a very famous story because the guy told it himself. Lasker, his name, Rabbi Lasker. He told the story how he was traveling with the Rolling Stones, I think it was, or one of those bands. It was like a crew member in their, they were driving around the United States and performing, and he was like part of that group. He had a good time, according to what he says, but something inside of him made him feel that he has to find something else. So somehow, I don't remember the whole story, how he got to the Rebbe's house. He went to 770, because someone told him you have to go to speak with the Lubavitcher Rebbe. And he met with the Rebbe. You have to see his description, because I'm not going to say it as good as him. He was there. He said he spoke with the Rebbe and he asked him questions outside 770. And people were around them, and he felt like for 10 minutes, it was only him and the Rebbe talking. Like the Rebbe looked at him straight in the eyes, and he looked to the Rebbe straight in the eyes. And he's saying there was no other existence besides two of us standing and talking. And one of the things he asked the Rebbe, where is Hashem? And Hashem told him, Hashem is here and there, Hashem is everywhere. And then he kept pressing. He said, no, but I want to know really where can I find him? So the Rebbe told him, deep inside your heart. And he said that's melted his heart completely, and he became a Chassid until today, Baruch Hashem. So the point is, Hashem is everywhere, nothing can block Hashem. Hashem is all over the place. Yet, we do say that someone can be afar from Hashem. So how could it be? So this is the answer. What we said before about the clouds, about the rope with the many threads. Hashem indeed is everywhere. But when someone commits a transgression, he creates this cloud that blocks a little bit of the ray of Hashem, a little bit of the sun of Hashem. And but if he does another one, it can accumulate to a lot more, and he can be in darkness. He can be in exile. So this is it. When you do a mitzvah, you establish a connection with Hashem. You become one with Hashem, and that is your reward. This is what he says here. The reward of a mitzvah is a mitzvah. You establish a connection with Hashem. This is the most significant thing that could be. So it doesn't contradict. When you do get a reward in this world, you get a lot of money and blessings, and you're going to stay healthy and have kids and a nice family. And in the world to come, you're going to go to heaven. Yeah, you can take all that. It doesn't contradict. But I don't know. The Alter Rebbe tells us in Tanya, the real reward of doing a mitzvah is the connection you establish with Hashem in that moment. We don't see it right now. Okay, we don't see the connection. We don't see the light that is drawn upon us and upon the world. Actually, when we do a mitzvah, it says that in Beis Hamikdash they have so many specific laws. Remember, we learned in Pesach, you have to bring the offering, and you have to subscribe to the group, and you have to bring a specific type of an animal. And it should not have any flaws or any blemish, no blemish. It has, and so many specific details of laws. So specific. The Alter Rebbe says that any change, if you do a mitzvah and you do it, you don't do it correctly according to the specific laws, then it's like this is my own example. Like, when you have a key, okay, a key can be 95% correct, but if you have like 5% of the key is like not accurate, so it doesn't go all the way through. It doesn't. That's
not the key.
It's not the key. So also the mitzvahs, that's what he says in Tanya about the korbanos, but it's true about regarding any mitzvah. If you do it correctly, when you build your sukkah, okay, it has to have like full 3 stable walls, and Chabad even do a little bit of a 4th wall, and the roof, the schach should be made of the right materials and so forth, and then the key goes through. Then you do it correctly. Then you draw down heavenly light, infinite light upon yourself, upon the world. And that is the true reward of a mitzvah. And that's for now. Now we can move to the next Mishnah. Thanks.